did you know that San Antonio had electricity, thanks to the company that preceded CPS, long before New York did, even though Thomas Edison invented his incandescent light bulb in a New Jersey lab, opened his New York generating plant in 1882. 6 months before that, we had it in Alamo Plaza on the post office.
City Public Service and its predecessor companies, going back to 1860, has always been in the same business, and it has always served the same community. 156 years. But since 1942, that commitment to San Antonio and the citizens in the surrounding area has been absolute. In October 1942, the city bought the San Antonio Public Service Company, and it turned out to be the greatest event in the history of San Antonio.
It was bought for less than $40 million in the 1940s. And then we were paying the city, when I retired in '99, about $200 million a year.
It represents about 30% of our general fund revenue for our city budget, and that is the portion of the budget that pays for the most important things that we do: police and fire, street maintenance, parks and recreation, code enforcement, library system, all of those things that are most important to the community.
Being 75 years owned by the community is amazing from the standpoint of we do it, I kind of say that we're kind of the silent superheroes. We do it every day and nobody really thinks about it. They click the lights on and it just happens. But once you start to tell people 75 years and then you say we've done it at very affordable rates, we've always made sure that the community receives the best energy solutions that are out there across the globe, and we've done it year after year after year and been able to give about $7 billion over 75 years at the same time. I mean, I think people are now putting it all together, and I look at each one of our team members, and to me they don't have little invisible S's on their chest, they have big broad S's on their chest. They're superheroes. They're doing something without ego. They do it because they know it's right.
The time that I started was all of the linemen were still climbing poles. There was no such thing as bucket trucks.
It was a wonderful place to work. You had a lot of friends. You knew people. You knew your employees. You knew your employees' families.
I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed it very much.
In the 60s, the thing was water, conservation of water, and they decided to go ahead and build Browning Lake. So it really changed the way the system worked electrically, because now, instead of being spread out around in the city, you had everything down in one side, shipping everything north.
A lot of the people that come here to bring businesses to San Antonio do it because of not only the dependable power, but the cost. Our electrical costs are something really to make us competitive.
I can remember back in '72 and '73 when we had to get fuel other than our gas supplier. They cut us off, and that was the old Oscar Wyatt time. And I don't think I saw so many people, including myself, that had to come out here and get these machines all burning oil, burning something in order to supply the customers.
I became very edgy over the fact that I could see that the natural gas rates were really triggering increases in our utility rates. I said, we have a contract, and our citizens are having, in some cases, make choice between whether they pay their utility bills or go to the grocery store this week. And we've got to sue. And so finally, we did sue. And we ended up with a major victory on that suit. It was over $100 million, plus, getting that whole relationship straightened out with our natural gas supplier. The next thing that happened was the nuclear plant. I call these the energy wars. Well, the trouble with the nuclear plant was it had been sold to the public that our share of the nuclear plant, the South Texas nuclear plant that was being built in Houston, our share would be maybe about $1 billion. Now that sounded like a great big number to all of us. However, it wasn't the whole story, and as I recall, it ended up costing $5 billion. And each time it went up, it was headlines in the local newspaper.
Which in itself, at the time, of course, it looked like a disaster. Obviously, time has proven that it has been God sent to San Antonio. And that's why we enjoy some of the good rates that we do.
Once that nuclear plant was completed, that the cost of the energy it would generate would be much lower for the energy received than any other source of energy.
During the time I was mayor, we were approached with a private entity that said, this is such an attractive company, we would like to incorporate it into our private system, and we'll pay you billions of dollars, billions, to the city treasury. The truth of the matter is, we'll be better off in the long run making sure that the power serves our needs in a public way and still getting that 14% indefinitely as long as we're owners of the system.
And so today you look at it, Valero has grown significantly. We're the largest public company in San Antonio. And we spun off NewStar, which probably NewStar is either the second or third largest public company. And CPS played a key role.
We concentrated on two big things. One was reliability of electric and gas service, the highest reliability that we could reasonably produce. And second of all, we wanted to make sure that we had some of the most competitive electric bills and gas bills in the country.
My first management job here was dealing with labor relations, and I kind of turned around the management labor relations agreement and how they interacted together, and we became kind of like a standout in the 7th district of the IBEW, and we were always touted as the best management labor relations that existed in the utility industry in the southern United States.
That period of time, 95 to 97, there were just multiple transitions. Closure of Kelly, the changes in ownership at the South Texas nuclear project, the beginning of the legislature to look at deregulation of utilities and energy in Texas.
I think during those early 2000 to 2005 years, and even on my city council days prior to that, CPS was in transition as one of the largest publicly owned utility companies in the nation. It found itself competing and in a competitive world with the privately owned utilities.
We worked on trying to figure out ways to be more efficient and accept the fact that we were going to be in competition soon. Now that didn't happen, but I think that was the very first time that we had to really look inward and determine for ourselves who are we and who do we want to be in the future.
They're what we call government type jobs. And you have a job for life, and you don't really have to be that efficient. So CPS doesn't work that way. CPS works from a standpoint that we are going to deliver. We're going to deliver better service, and we're going to deliver better price. And they work on it just like every employee there is a shareholder, well, which they are.
What you're going to be doing is creating a legacy. And the legacy that you will create will be one that is associated with Mrs. Garcia on the west side and Mr. Smith on the north side. And you have to find a balance between the two such that they both can be able to afford their utilities and electricity bills, you know, over not today, but in the future as well.
And you're making decisions that don't necessarily affect your community in the next couple of years. In a way, you're sort of doing it for the next generation, for your children and grandchildren. And so I'm just very proud to be part of that. I was born and raised here. I love San Antonio, so it's just a perfect way for me to serve my city.
My district represents a lot of low-income people, especially senior citizens, and CPS Energy has been so innovative in getting people to be more energy efficient in their home. And they explain it in such a way that it can be understandable to everyone.
personally, the most significant success, I think, was improving, working with the employees, especially our craft, and in improving employee safety. That's still the most important thing you can do in this business. And I've often thought that it's a measure of how much you care about people in the organization.
Safety is basically people first. We're putting the safety of people first so they can come home to their families.
We can't leave anybody behind. It's all about everybody. It's all about the people and serving the people of the community. And that's what brings us all together and encases us in an actively caring culture.
One of the things that I'm most proud of CPS Energy is they've always been ready to go whenever we've had a situation with the weather.
We'll have power outages. We've had transformers fail. CPS Energy is ahead of the game. They're calling me, forewarning me that you have issues, you have problems, how can we help? And they've been out in the middle of storms, in the middle of the night. They're showing up for us. They're helping with us.
The guys out in the field really thrive on storm trouble and stuff like that, and really get the people's lights on as fast as possible.
When our guys and girls are out there fixing things in the middle of the night, we're doing it because these are the people that we care about.
We have to be more engaged with our customers and communities so that we are doing what they need us to do when they need us to do it in the ways that they want, making sure that we're actually making their lives better.
I think the people first really is reflective of what I said a few moments ago, in that these 3,000 employees are performing an incredible task in keeping this company so strong and so successful in every way. And I think Paula was really smart to recognize that that's what makes this company great, and what makes it different is our employees.
CPS Energy means loyalty and commitment. I have built a lifetime of memories and friendships.
I know that everybody works as a team around here, and they're just great workers inside and outside the fields. It's just a wonderful group of people.
I'm proud to be part of an organization that has promoted growth and development. Through CPS, I've obtained my Business of Administration with a concentration in computer information systems.
Coming to CPS Energy gave me an experience that I can probably say would have been like no other. First of all, I was a young African American woman in an engineering career, already a standout, already one of a very few, and being able to have almost immediately an extended family that by and large looked nothing like the family that I came from, and who embraced me and helped me become a competent engineer and later on a competent leader of people, was again an experience like very few others.
I guess personally it was just my progression through the ranks and the ability to use my education and stuff to get promoted.
I'm a legacy. My dad started working here in 1950. He retired in 1986. Well, I came on afterwards, and my last name has been synonymous with CPS since 1950.
We as employees have a choice to assist with all the different volunteer programs we have. We support various organizations, and one that's very dear to my heart is our summer program for the students. So I've gotten to see these students come in year after year and work with us, learn.
Even today at this retirees meeting, they're gathering gifts, contributions for children in need. I think that's important, and it's important that City Public Service staff participates in the needs of San Antonio to that extent.
We took that first step into alternative energy when we bought some wind power out of West Texas. Since then, they've been buying some out of South Texas also. So it was the beginning of some alternative energy resources, renewable ones.
Part of this is we've got to embrace that change and make sure that we provide our customers options, choices, new products, new services, so that they can engage in how power gets generated, consumed, delivered in the future.
We're the only city I know that's really seriously thinking about distributive energy. And what that means is you can put a solar unit on every house, every building that there is. They all are collecting the sun, transferring it, and with the use of an intelligent grid, they're feeding into the system, and my opinion is you haven't seen nothing yet.
The future for CPS Energy, in my view, is challenging because the industry is evolving faster than we have public policy keeping up. I think the future we all agree on is one that's sustainable, it's more renewable, it's also one that is more decentralized, which is going to challenge us to be creative and innovative, especially as we are a citywide, beyond citywide energy utility. If we can get ahead of the curve, we can make it so that our utility is not only more sustainable, but it's creating jobs in other industries, and that's something I'm very interested in.
Epicenter is a nonprofit. We're the result of a collaboration with CPS Energy and its new energy economy partners. So imagine a think tank, a new energy incubator, potentially an accelerator, exhibit space, a fabrication laboratory right on site where you can test and prototype and do those wonderful things you need to do. And then finally, a big conference center where you could host summits and conferences that talk about innovation in new energy. The absolute vision around Epicenter, what that will mean in terms of shining a light on San Antonio as a new energy innovation center. You know, other cities are known for other things. There's one to the north that people talk about a lot. But I know because of the vision of CPS Energy and the folks that they work with, we'll be on the map in an even greater way, particularly in new energy.
I'm very excited from the standpoint of our new board member. John Steen was the one that raised that opportunity to us. Last year when he joined the board, he said, hey, do you know you're at 74 and you're about to be at 75? And we moved so much, I'm thinking in terms of 156 years, not really thinking about it. And then when it all really kind of dawned on us, we realized we have a great opportunity right now. The industry is changing, but at the same time we can talk about the rich heritage we've had for 75 years being totally connected to our community, and working with our city councils, working with our mayors, working with our boards to do the right thing for that long and still be a AA to AA rated plus company that it's not just about the financials, it's about the strength of the management team, about the success in the way that we've implemented assets, how we operate. That's the testament. To do that 75 years is an amazing milestone, and I'm just fortunate to be here right at this point.
Happy 75th anniversary, CPS Energy.
Happy 75th anniversary, CPS Energy.
Hey, happy birthday, CPS Energy.
Feliz aniversario, CPS.
Happy 75th anniversary, CPS Energy.
Happy 75th anniversary, CPS Energy.
Happy 75th anniversary, CPS Energy.